All righty, what is up, y'all? This is Austin here with the Fitness to Fit You podcast. Coming to you today with another episode. I've got with me today on the podcast today, Mr. Kalem Lewis with
Sir. SupHu.
SupHu here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Tell the people what you're about, man. Give some information.
Yeah. So first and foremost, obviously, we are a sports nutrition store. I don't like to use the word weight loss. I think it is easily thrown around and it kind of deter people from their own direction. So we are an educational type store, man. I mean, after just coming in there, just the principles that we stand behind.
Right.
So we wanted to develop something that it wasn't just for the bodybuilding community. It wasn't just for people who are crazy in the fitness industry. We wanted to create it for people to come and get educated.
Right.
And not just like, hey, can I take this fat burner and it's going to be the cure-all thing, right? Like we want people to know why they're taking something and the reason behind it. And, but also just be more involved with the community, man. I think that me and you talked about it before. I wish at the age of 20, I'd have had somebody tell me all the bad effects that stuff can have on you rather than take everything known to man and rather than just dig into my diet and get a coach and maybe try to drink 1 gallon of water a day would have been nice. So
yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, man.
So we're definitely gonna dive in here to what SupHu is all about.
For
and
sure.
You probably don't know if you've listened at all or if you just kind of caught me online, but like I'm all about like self-care and people just like really being good to themselves. So I'm gonna send my daily reminder you all to be good to yourself. All right. And so I definitely want to make sure I've spoken about supplements quite often to my people.
Right.
But I don't speak about the supplements in depth just because, we'll kind of get into the different ideologies,
For sure.
background and stuff like that. So, but before we do that, I want you to kind of like, who is Kalem? So we got to get a little idea.
Yeah, man. So I'm originally from Asheville, North Carolina. That's where I moved from. My wife got accepted to medical school at the University of Louisville. So she's about to be a doctor this year, finally, after 8 long years.
Hey,
so I've learned a lot. Yeah. I've learned a lot from her along the way, man. So, she makes me paranoid. She does all these weird tests on me and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to have some kind of liver failure going on or something. But, because I'm a paranoid person. So, but it gives me a peace of mind knowing that I have somebody who knows about blood and the organs and the kidneys. And so really I've took note on a lot of stuff she's taught me over time. But anyways, back to me on that point. I grew up, wrestled and played football my whole life. I was always into sports. Had a lot of scholarship offers actually out of college. My biggest one ended up being Georgia Tech. When I was young, though, I had a little boy. His name's Brylan. At the age of 10, I thought it was more important to stay home to a small town girl and get her pregnant than it was to go. And hey, but I wouldn't trade it for the world now. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yo, that's awesome, dude. Okay, keep going. I got so many questions.
Oh, right, not all out, right? So, but yeah, so 2 years after that, I got really big into MMA because I wrestled. I fought for Black Eye Promotions. It is a MMA gym in Asheville, North Carolina. So I got pretty hefty into that. Actually ended up getting 5 really bad concussions. So that kind of put a little damper in my career. Could have maybe have been competitive at the pro level. I have no idea, but I was very competitive at that level. So long story short, outside of that, man, I started lifting weights and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the constant growth of it. There's just the forms of just weightlifting and cardio and the technique behind it. It's always a challenge. There's always somebody better. There's always somebody that can push you. There's always somebody that's like, you're like, man, I'd love to look like that. Or there's just somebody who's like, hey, try this new movement. And it's just a constant, always evolving growth. And for my head, because like I get very bored really fast.
Yeah.
Fitness for me is like, it's a constant growth. It's a constant pushing yourself. It's a constant setting the alarm. It's a lifestyle. It's a habit that you have to be willing to do.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it, man. So ever since then I've studied it. I read Arnold's whole encyclopedia front to back twice. I don't know if it's by Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's his bodybuilding encyclopedia, but just the stuff that, man, you can just learn from reading is insane too. You know, you don't have to go to college and be $200,000 in debt to be educated. So I'm very big on self-education, man. I think a lot of people just, I'm going to pay somebody for this education. And when, you know, there's a lot of people who are self-educated that can teach you just as much, you know, so I'm very big on teaching yourself, very big on that. So that's a brief thing of me.
Yeah, man. Nice. So there's a couple of things I want to touch on. So I guess a few things actually. So you mentioned wrestling, you mentioned football, you mentioned your son, and then you mentioned Arnold Schwarzenegger there. So I want to touch base. I know you had mentioned a little earlier in our conversation about your entry into the your competition next year. So touching all that, but let's start off with the football, man. So tell me, so you did both of those, football and wrestling. Like, how did those two come together?
So I started off playing football when I was 5.
Okay.
I was always very athletic, very explosive. I was very lacking a lot in size. So I was always the runt, but I was the fastest guy out there and just athletic, hand-eye coordination, all that, man. But hey, I was 85 pounds even wearing the suit out there. So I had a big heart though. Middle school came around, and man, I'll never forget. I had a coach, Coach Manuel, going to try out for the middle school team, and he told me that I'm better off staying in Pee Wee football than I am coming to middle school. You don't think I'm big enough yet.
Wow.
So that stuck with me, man. Like that, you know, as a kid, you don't say something like that to a 6th grader. Because first of all, you know, you're already at a point in life where 6th grade is like that fine line of you're getting picked on, you're trying to find who you are as a kid. So that really stuck with me. And I was like, I'm going to take up wrestling. And, you know, I'm going to get tough.
Yeah.
And these bigger kids that, you know, these coaches give me a hard time about, I'm going to start slamming them, man. So I took up wrestling, man. And I'll tell you what, my first wrestling practice, I was all over the place. Like, oh, I got this. I got slammed, you know, and I was like, ah. But my dad always told me, no matter what you start, you always finish it. You see it through. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, you know, even if you're the worst person on the team, you're going to see it through. That's with tryouts or anything. So I stuck with it, and I got better and better as time went on. But wrestling taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Wrestling will teach you. It'll make you a man or a woman really fast too, because there's women that wrestle, and you know, cutting weight, and you know, there's not a worse feeling than someone holding dominance over you and you can't do nothing about it. That's the worst feeling in the world. And all you know you can do is get better and stronger. And then you keep going back for more and more and more. But wrestling taught me a lot. It taught me a lot of stuff. Cardiovascular wise, wrestling's the best thing I've ever done for cardio. I mean, it's constant movement. It's constant explosion. It's constant, just you're moving all the time, man. And periods are 2 minutes long. And people are like, well, 2 minutes long is nothing. Well, 2 minutes going as hard as you can against somebody who weighs the exact same weight as you. And you're not trying to get embarrassed by 100 people.
Yeah.
You run out of wind pretty quick. You know, just from endurance. You're like, oh, you're hyped. And you're like, okay, this can go one or two ways. It's gonna be a good match, or you know, Tommy over here is about to embarrass me in front of my whole family. So, but yeah, so a transition to wrestling. I wrestled all the way up through high school, my sophomore year. And then I decided to put all my eggs in a basket and go with football. It was my first love. So started getting recruited pretty heavy outside of my sophomore year. But like I said, God had different plans for me, man. So I had a kid, and you know, all this stuff, and no college debt. My wife hates me when I say that, but hey, man, it worked out for the better.
He's gonna have it all, right?
Yeah. But I will say this: I had surgery every year in high school after football season. I've had tore my meniscus twice. I've tore my labrum twice. I've had 2 sports hernias from football. I'll show you one day in person. Actually, on my ring finger here, I left my class ring on. And I was going through the gym one day, and I jumped up to grab the net, and my class ring got hooked on the net, and it rolled,
Lord have
dislocated my
mercy.
finger, it rolled all the skin down. So I'm beat up, man. I'm beat up. I might be 30, but I feel 75. Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh,
And I
man.
didn't pick the healthiest sport of bodybuilding either, So
Yeah.
I love to push the boundaries of the human body for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I could have took up, golf. It would have been
Yeah.
nice. So,
And your MMA's in there too. So
and
it's like,
MMA, so like I said, I forget stuff. I don't know where I put my keys half the time. And but hey, it's I look at everything as a stepping stone and learn. So
yeah, man. I've actually I've got a recent mentor, that's always been his thing. It's just like, trying to push his body to the limits, every
yeah,
like day, and while that concept, can have some negative connotation to it, if you will, or
yeah.
effects, on the other end of that, it's like it definitely builds a different breed of human, when you are pushing yourself and challenging yourself constantly like that. You know what I
It
mean?
does that, but it also shows you what the human body's capable of. People don't realize it, man. The brain is people allow their brain to fool them so much.
Yeah.
It's I see people working out and your mind tells you something, but your body can go through so much. Our bodies are made for just look at the stuff we used to overcome a long time ago, and that we have it made easy now. I mean, we got air conditioners in our cars, we got water, we got BCAAs, we got, all this stuff, and we still are like, oh my gosh, what do you mean 10 more push-ups, But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
man, I'll tell you, dude, it's
That puts it in perspective.
humbling. Yeah, put it in perspective. You see kids now whining about stuff. We don't have a Smith machine. I'm like, what was Arnold using in the 70s, man? Like rusty iron, and y'all got every machine known to man for every isolated movement, and
Yeah.
it's the worst thing in the world. And you pay $10 a month at Planet Fitness, and you get the tan. So
You get the tan.
I mean, Lord, man, what else do you want?
I love it, dude.
So,
That definitely puts it in perspective. There are days where like I like guess I feel like I'm definitely feeling it, like, a
yeah,
hard day like this, and it's like, man, I
yeah,
really want to go home, and just kind of like just sleep. But
yes,
I definitely need to get this 30 minutes in. But am I feeling it? Maybe not. This and this and
right,
that. But dude, that perspective, and like I try not to, I obviously make sure to get it in at some
yes,
point, but it's crazy to think about that. Like, you're absolutely right. All the resources in the world, like, dude, just
yeah.
push yourself. You know what I mean?
Well, I will say to that on top of it too, rest is important.
Yeah,
Rest is key. We'll dig into that, I'm sure, here in a few. But I'll also say this: even if you're just tired, just going to the gym for 30 minutes, and regardless, you just go through the motions and get some type of blood flow.
right.
The endorphins your body releases, you just feel good because you win. You didn't let
Yeah,
yourself down, and you build off that the next day. Don't go and kill yourself. Just, hey, man, I went in there, I showed up, my body was there, I allowed all that positive energy to come in, and that's all that matters.
yeah.
So
There's
I go
people
by
who need
that
to hear
too.
that too.
There's tons
Because
of people need to hear that,
yeah,
man. You
a
don't.
lot of times people think you can't just go to the gym and do something. They think you gotta go and like kill it. You
Yeah.
know what I
Just
mean?
go get on a foam roller or use some bands. It's
Yeah.
okay. Work on range of motion for once. Maybe try to touch your toes. It's okay.
And there
We
you
don't
go.
have to touch every weight in the gym every time, man. It's okay.
I love it, man. I love
So
it. So
yeah,
that's good. So you've got a hell of a background, man. I think the first day we met in the store, it was so geared toward just like some of the stuff we wanted to kind of work on together, that,
yeah,
that initial like desire to like kind of like know each other,
yeah,
that wasn't there. But man, you've got the background, dude. That's awesome,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, we'll get into more of an in-depth background on another podcast one day,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
it's actually a motivational stuff. It's some stuff that
Yeah.
I'll share, but I think some people could hear to build off of as well too.
Absolutely, man. And it's funny you mentioned that about your coach, just to kind of build off that coach that kind of like came to you and told you you weren't like worthy or ready to be into the next level, man.
Right.
Like, it's crazy to think about, like, when you're that age, how impressionable you are. And if you
Mm-hmm.
have the wrong, adult or the wrong coach or the wrong influence, like coming to you the wrong way and telling you the wrong things, like, it can either push you to grow or it can push you to stay behind. And I
Yeah.
luckily had a coach kind of in the same in the same way. You know, I was playing basketball and he wanted me to play soccer, and he would give me told me I was capable of everything. And that got me back into playing soccer. I've been playing soccer all my life before I stopped all, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's like, you know, you have those moments where that person is going to come and they're going to say something to you that's either going to put you down if you don't have the mental strength to like go, you know what I'm saying? So hearing that is just like, wow, that's awesome, dude.
I agree, man.
Like, hey, pushing forward like that all the time, you know?
Your circle is everything. Who you surround yourself, they say a saying all the time, like if there is a pack of wolves and there's a sheep in it, the wolves are only as strong as the sheep.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have a friend and you got 4 positive friends and 3 of them are good and the 4 is just kind of negative Nancy, misery loves company. I live by that.
Yeah.
You're only as strong as that energy you're allowing into your life, man. So people need to pay attention to that. Misery loves company, man. So people see you doing good, they want to pull that down, you know,
Good
period.
Dude. Good dude. So talk to me a little bit more about SupHu. So like, when I came in, when we spoke, you know, I know you mentioned you were the manager there. So I don't know if it's something you're able to talk about, but like, so what's the ladder there? You know, because I think just on social media, you know, we've seen like just a few different people take the reins. So like, just not really sure.
Okay, so
you're able to share that.
Right. Well, it started off, and they still are involved. It's Ryan and Casey Beck.
Right.
Right. So she got into competing. She's heavy into competing, and she's actually, I think she's taking a break from it to invest time with family.
Okay.
They're really good friends of mine. And then Ryan, they're really taking time right now to kind of step off. Yeah. And it's to invest in family and kind of just bodybuilding as a sport that it is a very selfish sport. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot out of a relationship. It takes a lot out of a marriage. It takes a lot out of time with kids, memories. So they're just investing back in that now. So I'm pretty much I'm the face of that.
Awesome. Okay.
I am the face of I'm the face of SupHu. So, but we're on the same mission, man. We want to. I don't care if you have 150 million followers and you coach everybody in the U.S. and your name's Rich Piana. If you have negative energy, don't set foot in the shop. Yeah. That's not what we're about. We're not about that. We're not going to compete with Next Level when it comes to money. We're not going to compete with Subzilla and Total Nutrition when it comes to money. But that's also not why we're not in it. So, and I don't sugarcoat stuff. They're in it, and I'm not bashing them. They're doing great. But we're also to be there to be affordable for people and to be a community place for people. If that was the case, we'd have 5 shops open and we would never have deals and we'd be marketing in your face all the time. But that's not our mission. We got a bigger picture that we're pushing towards right now. And it's actually here. And, yeah. But the good thing is, man, if you put good energy in, good energy comes out. You know? Man. So we'll keep that there, but that stuff's gonna be rolling out New Year's.
Yeah, dude. And that's why I ask, because like whenever I see anything about SupHu, like I'm always seeing you. So like you know, I want to know, like, you know, what's that like, kind of being the face, like, you know, kind of being the manager and making everything run smoothly and all that. What's that like, dude?
Man, it's an angel and demon world, let me tell you.
Yeah.
You know, I will tell you what, man, demons come in all forms and shapes and sizes, and they'll be the prettiest thing you've ever seen in your life. And it's a blessing though, man. The kids I meet are just, some of them don't have no fathers. Some of them don't know what's going on. And I can take 5 minutes. You know how I am. Before you come in the store, I want to know about you. What's your name? Yeah. I'll compliment your shoes. I want to break the ice. I want to make you comfortable. And then I want to dig into what you're really about. I'm not about to sell you a 300 milligram caffeine pre-workout and you can't even drink a gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
You know, the side effects that are going to linger off that, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But it's great, man. I love absolutely just reaching out to the community, and like people come in like, what do you mean free shakers? What do you mean free shirts? Well, we get them for free. Why would we charge you for them? You know, like, you know, we buy so much inventory that we get that stuff sent to us for free. For instance, this is a company, Anabolic Warfare, that we carry. Well, they send us these shirts all the time because we spend so much money with them.
Right.
So my thing is, okay, we could be the average typical store and charge $24.99 a shirt, or we could give them to somebody who's not very fortunate, or maybe needs a new workout shirt for free. Or, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you this sample for free. Why am I going to charge you $1.99 for a sample when I got it for free? Why don't I just go ahead and just pass the love back and just keep it moving? And I think people don't forget that, man. I think people love that. Some people can't afford pre-workout. You can't afford it, I'll give you 30 packs. There you go. There's 30 days. It doesn't matter to me, you know? So, and people stick with that, and they may not ever buy anything from us, but they never have anything bad to say about us.
Absolutely not, man. And then they're gonna tell people about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't have crazy Black Friday, Labor Day sales. People are like, y'all didn't do anything crazy. I'm like, well, it's because we got deals every day.
Yeah.
So you got go to our story right now. Buy a pre-workout, get a free fat burner. Buy one, go buy one protein, get the other one 35% off. Every one of them comes with a free shaker in this. We run deals all year long. We don't keep everything marked up and then Black Friday, hey man, give me it's just not how it works. You know, we're not in it for the money. You know, so all these stores that they have nothing to be threatened by for us, we're not chasing them. It's a totally different picture, man. Totally different picture.
That's a hell of a way to create community, man. Like that's something, and I think you kind of caught that like when you and I started reaching out to each other, you know, like just I'm all about community. So, you know, if there's a place or places in Louisville that are all about community, you know, why not be all about them? You know what I'm saying? So
yes, I agree.
That's
there's not enough of it.
Yeah. Right. Well, cool, dude. I wanted to, I definitely wanted to pick your brain here about a couple things. So, and, just to be upfront and honest about myself as a coach, I started off as a basketball soccer player, got even heavier into soccer once I couldn't play soccer anymore, picked up weightlifting, but it was more of a, just kind of having something to do. Once I injured myself a couple of times, got into calisthenics specifically. Even then, still wasn't really all about supplements. Still didn't do anything with supplements. Started working at pro rehab physical therapy, got more into preventative health, corrective exercise, rehabilitative work, started incorporating all of that into my coaching. Now, after kind of going through all of that, I started to understand the benefits of some of the supplements, things that you can take to help advance your performance, even then, and this is kind of where you come in, my knowledge is limited because I believe and live by simplicity. And I think a lot of that is just not necessarily knowing what all is out there.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But dude, I'm like protein shake, creatine, water, and, pre-workout if I don't have like the proper like pre-workout meal, for energy and stuff. But outside of that, dude, like, the professionals are the people that I'm going to look to ask questions. You saw that when I came in there, I was asking a ton of questions. So, I would like for you, if possible, just kind of shed some light on the situation, what people need for recovery.
I would love to shed light and expose the supplement industry. And I work for supplements. I would love nothing more.
Yeah. So what do people need, man? Because I think I definitely, for my people, being that my audience is like, average individuals. And so because I want them to know that there's a place for them also. So like, what do people need, for their performance, for health, all of that?
First of all, they need a good coach like you.
Okay.
They need somebody who is setting the course first. They need guidance. They need a workout program. They need a coach that's helping with diet, whatever it is. They need simplicity first. Right. Can't do complicated without simplicity. You need that first. Here's my thing. If somebody can't make it to the gym 3 days a week, they don't need to be taking 300 milligrams of caffeine a day.
Okay.
Second of all, they need to find a true supplement store or somebody who knows about supplements.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, anybody that works in GNC, they can sue me for this. They know zero.
Okay.
Vitamin Shop, they know zero. It's based off of sales. And that's the main reason we got into this. So
Yeah.
what people really need to know is what stuff does. For instance, caffeine has its perks. Pre-workout's great. Like if you need it, you need it. But also, caffeine suppresses appetite. So caffeine causes anxiety. Caffeine lowers testosterone naturally in men. Caffeine lowers sex drive. Caffeine can make you angry. Caffeine can make you eat 3 meals a day to 2 meals a day. So while it has its perks, it also has a lot of negatives.
Okay.
Fat burners, for instance, they're great. Like, okay, anybody can lose weight on a 300 milligram caffeine fat burner, but at some point you're going to flatline because the receptors in your body get used to that.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people come in like, oh, I need a fat burner. I'm like, okay, well, what's your diet like? Oh, well, man, I want to take a fat burner because my diet's not very good. Well, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not about to sell you something that could do all these other side effects when you can't even eat right.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I say eat right, I'm not asking you to eat like me. I'm not asking you to eat like you. Just don't eat like an asshole.
Yeah.
Excuse my language on here.
Eat like an asshole.
Just be smart.
Yeah.
Just be smart. Like enjoy your dinner at night, but try to eat decent through the day and try to get water in, So people do need fundamentals. Creatine is very important. People overlook, I don't want to take creatine because it's going to make me hold water. Well, that's so false. It's so false.
Right.
Creatine puts water into your muscle to help you heal, to make you explosive, to help you heal. People are like, oh, it makes me bloated. No, it doesn't make you bloated. You putting all that sodium in your body on top of that water is what's making you bloated, not the creatine.
That's right, dude. Thank you.
And then know your difference in proteins. Your whey isolates. Quicker digesting, 30 to 45 minutes. Your heavy weight, all this other stuff. So know when to drink these things and how to drink these things. Like if you're somebody who struggles with meals, whey isolate protein's great. 110 calories. You're looking at 1 gram of sugar. It's quick digesting. It's not going to leave you bloated in your gut. Everything we sell, by the way, is non-gluten free, non-GMO, very towards veganism. And it serves the same purpose. People are like, oh my gosh, you can't gain weight being a vegan. And that's false too.
Right.
So everything we're geared towards that. What I can say about protein is very, very important. It's overlooked. People think, okay, well, I'm going to eat when I get home. It's been an hour. Well, as soon as you leave the gym, your body's in an anabolic state, man or woman. And it needs to be fueled. So as soon as you're done working out, as soon as you're done, you need to be drinking a protein shake. Not asking you anything crazy. Just get 30 grams of protein in with 100 calories. Because what happens is your body's in that state. But as soon as it starts going down, it needs something. And all that work you just put in, your body's going to start eating away muscle as energy to carry you over. And you're never going to see any kind of progress or gains.
Okay.
So what I do, as soon as I'm done, I'm a quick shake right after. As soon as I'm done, like if I'm done walking out the gym, water fountain, suck it up. It's not meant to taste good. Nothing healthy is about tasting good, dude. Put some hot sauce on it, whatever. Hit the water fountain, drink it. There's a bigger goal in place.
Yeah.
It's a good meal when you get home, but you gave yourself time to recover and you gave yourself time to not go into a negative defect where you're losing muscle and tissue. Yeah. Because what a lot of people don't realize is if you're trying to lose weight, your body's going to burn out fat as energy before muscle up before fat a lot quicker.
Okay.
Because that fat puts off way more energy because your body wants to store it and hold on to it.
Right.
So any kind of lean muscle you got, your body wants to hold on to that, man. Your body wants to hold on to it, but it's like, okay, I got this fat that gives me a lot of energy, or I got this lean mass I can eat up real quick.
Yeah.
Eat up this muscle real fast.
Okay.
So your body goes into a state of not wanting to get rid of fat. So, and then outside of that, man, your basics. I think fish oil is very important. I think fish oil is from a cholesterol standpoint, from just heart health and all that stuff is great. And I think, not a detox, but I think something for gut health is very crucial to run at least 2 times a year.
Right.
Your body has tons of buildup in the gut for a reason.
Okay.
I think taking a detox, whether it's twice a year or once a year, just doing that is, dude, it does wonders for your gut health. It does wonders for your gut. You want your gut to be as as healthy as possible. There's actually stuff on the inside of your gut that when it's working full speed, when it's breaking down stuff and enzymes and all that, it wants to pull all that in a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But if it's blocked up, you're losing half that stuff all the time, man. So I tell people gut health 2-3 times a year, man. Just, yeah, you may poop 4 or 5 times a day, but it's going to be okay. You know, like it's okay. And you may lose a little bit of weight, and the bro gyms are like, oh, I don't want to lose weight, bro. Like, it's okay. Like,
It's okay.
yeah, you got to be humble about this stuff, man. It's okay. It's about the longevity. It's not about the here and now. It's about how long can I maintain this.
Right.
So
tell me a little bit about, because so far I'm like, man, all right, this is like, because even in my head, dude, like when you walk inside of a supplement store, you see all of the different things. I forget that these are oftentimes are just brands. They're all the same thing, and they're just different brands, and you forget that, and that can be overwhelming. But it really is just listening to you. It's simple. So
simple.
Yeah, the biggest
I simplify everything, man.
Yeah, you do. You keep it real simple. So far, I'm hearing protein, creatine, gut health, and if a pre-workout, if it's necessary,
if it's there. You know, I think a nitric oxide booster is important. Blood flow, vascularity, getting beta alanine, getting L-citrulline, L-arginine. That stuff's really important too. The more oxygen and blood you can put into a muscle, obviously, the more it's going to grow.
Okay.
But you can buy pre-workout. That's the thing. People don't have time. They think pre-workout, and they're like, well, I need a pre-workout. And I'm like, well, you don't have to have a pre-workout with caffeine. They make pre-workout without caffeine. It does all the things a pre-workout does, just no caffeine. There's no crash. There's none of that. But people call it nitric oxide boosters. They label it as 2 different things to get you to buy both of them. Oh, I'm going to sell you a pre-workout, and I'm going to sell you this pump base over here so you get real good pumps, you got crazy energy. But ding dong, if you go into a shop and you want to make someone feel real stupid like at GNC, go grab a pump product, go grab a pre-workout. Look at both of the back of them. 3,500 milligrams L-citrulline, 3,500 milligrams L-citrulline, 3 grams of beta-alanine, 3 grams of beta-alanine, 5 grams creatine, 5 grams creatine. Well, what's the only difference? Oh, this got 350 milligrams caffeine. Oh, well, this will work fine. Well, you need both. Well, no, I don't really need both because I can have a nice, healthy coffee.
Right.
That's actually good for me, or a green tea, or whatever you want to do. And I can just take this pre-workout without caffeine and get none of the side effects.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
wow, man. That's like I said.
And I don't care if that just cost me $1,000. It doesn't matter to me because now people realize like, oh my gosh, they're the same thing, but I can take this without caffeine.
Yeah. I think people will appreciate your honesty and be like, I'm going there, you know. Like honestly, I really do think that's awesome. So I think the biggest question that you might get, at least from people that, you know, kind of follow me, and even myself, you know, the difference between, you know, and you see these sort of trendy like questions and articles up all the time, you know, BCAAs versus protein, you know, which one do you drink after workouts? Which one do you drink, period? You know, what do they do? What's the difference, etc.? You know, how would you break that down?
I call BCAAs flavored water.
Okay.
I call it to help you make sure you're getting enough water down during the day in a healthy form.
Okay.
I take BCAAs because I hate the taste of water, and that is it. You got different varieties of flavors, and you know that you're getting something healthy rather than squirting it with a bunch of Sunkist drops and your sugar's way up, right? So you know you're getting something with no sugar, and you're getting something healthy. And so my thing is like, how do you like your water flavored? If people come to the store, I'm like, what kind of flavor do you like your water? They're like, oh, what's this? Aminos? I'm like, what do you like? Just choose how you want your water to be flavored. Because to be honest with you, I took every single one and I don't feel a shit on any of them.
Okay.
That's my honest opinion. There'll be 10 million people that tell you the same other thing. Does it maybe keep you a little replenished while you're working out? Yes, maybe. You may be getting a few things in there that'll, from a mineral standpoint, that's helping you feel replenished. But my whole thing is if you're drinking enough water and you're eating right throughout the day, that's going to carry you through your workout.
Okay.
I take it to flavor my water, 100%. Okay. People disagree with me here, and I might get blown up after this video. But I don't really care. But hey, man, it's a flavored water, and you pay $24 for it, and it's the cheapest way to drink water.
Okay.
So there you go on that. Now,
Now,
protein.
are you saying that because you get in your protein though? Do they serve a similar purpose?
I don't think it serves a similar purpose at all. I think protein is way more important.
Okay.
Way more important. I actually do an intra protein shake.
Okay.
So I actually do a quick digesting protein intra, about 30 to 45 minutes. And sometimes I actually drink a protein shake. Like me, I'm trying to gain weight all the time. Right. So I'm actually drinking an intra shake with like powdered carbs. We actually sell powdered carbs. That's another really good one. And it's just flavor. It's just powdered carbs. You can add that in for people, don't know about that. Carbs give you energy. They're not the devil. People are like, it's so funny. People talk about diet and like, well, my carbs are 0 and I'm at 800 calories, but my sugar is at 400. And I'm like, wow, no wonder you're losing weight. You're only eating, you're eating bird seeds. No wonder you feel like crap, and you can't gain no muscle. But all the skin's hanging off of you. Whoever coached you, bless your heart. But powdered carbs are amazing. They're great. So I think that is way more important than a BCAA. Okay. Way more important. So if I'm you and you're telling your clients that protein, recovery, protein, creatine, the basic essentials, which we carry all your basic essentials there. We have great stuff right now that's actually in. People should look into they're called super shrooms. They're all this not like psychedelic shrooms.
I got what you mean.
But yeah, people are like, you're selling shrooms, but they're really good for you, man. They're really good for your immune system. I joke a lot, man. So I should have told you that, but
it's all good, dude. I love it, man. Hey, you gotta have fun.
I'm just me. This is what you're getting.
That's right. Right.
But they're really great for your immune system, especially during this time. If you're about the pandemic, some people are like, it's not real, but it's definitely real. Let's be real here. Right. But that's a really good thing for immune system as well too. I like sleep aid stuff. If you feel like if your sleep's messing with your recovery, I like it to an extent. When you start relying on melatonin, though, that becomes an issue because your body naturally produces that. And the last thing you want to rely on is a sleep aid, just like the last thing you want to rely on for energy is caffeine.
Right.
So if you are somebody who you figure once or twice a week, you're struggling from recovery because you got a late gym workout in or something, and you want to take like a sleep product, like maybe once or twice a week at the max.
Yeah.
I think that's really good because that recovery is very important. For me, I only take a sleep recovery on the weekends. That's my recovery phase. So if I get some good deep sleeps, I'll take like a sleep one or like a sedative to help me sleep to get good recovery over the weekends. During the week though, it's just, hey man, if I got 5 hours, I got 5 hours.
That's right.
So you just got to suck it up and go with it, buttercup. So
that's right, dude. Hey, this is no. When I get on these, you have people that try to keep it like very monotone, and
I don't.
Dude, I love it.
This is just me, man. So this is what you get in the shop too. When you get in the shop, man, you got the M&M hair and the dangly earring. This is me. Yeah. So people are like, "What? How are you successful?" I'm like, "Oh, I guess society told you I couldn't look like this, and I'm supposed to be, I guess weed eating grass or something. Not that nothing's wrong with weed eating grass." But.
Yeah. Yeah, damn society, man.
How dare you lift weights and have a sword in your ear, So,
yeah. Oh man, I love it, dude. Well, okay, so I want to just real fast, before we kind of touch on a couple of other things here with some statements. I want to get into the your bodybuilding, because we've kind of talked about that just a little bit. I kind of want to get into that. You've talked about how like big that is in your life and how like it's exciting and pushing it is always challenged. But like, so tell me a little bit about what you got going on that. What's your day-to-day? What's your challenges like? What's that?
My day-to-day, let me tell you, man. If you ever want to push the human mind and body, you get in the bodybuilding, because if I could go back, I would give this shit up today. I'll tell you right now. But now I've done too much, so I've got to do it. Yeah. So right now I'm at 7,100 calories a day. I'm at 827 grams of carbs, 187 fat. My sodium is 1,034. I'm at 210 grams of protein. And I'm right at 10 meals a day right now. And I'll be ending that December 27th. and I'll be starting my cut phase. But
Okay.
yeah, I usually work up to about 8,000 calories a day in a bulk. This is a bulk phase. And for people that don't realize that, they hear 8,000 calories and like, what? There's 1,300 calories in a Whopper. And I'm like, okay, eat 8,000 clean calories and see how much food that is.
That's hard.
People don't realize that. It
Yeah.
takes me an hour and a half to eat sometimes. I'm eating 10 ounces of chicken with about 380 grams of white rice, 100 grams of broccoli, and a teaspoon of hot sauce to help me wash it down. Yeah. You're talking about 8 eggs, 10 egg whites in the morning with 350 grams of oats and honey, with 2 cups of strawberries, 2 cups of blueberries. People that are maybe listening to us right now, or they're going to hear this after, put 350 grams of oats in a measuring cup and fill that bad boy up with water and put it in the microwave, and let me know how you feel about life at 5 a.m. in the morning before you've done anything. It's a whole new beast, man. So right now I'm in bulk prep. I started around 4,000 calories. Like I said, I work my way up. I don't just jump into 8,000 calories. It's a slow thing. There's a fine line between putting on fat and muscle.
Right.
So you gradually go up. I do now to get to my point. Like I said, I'll cut down to 192. I'm right 221 right now.
Okay.
To get to that point, you do. I don't care what anybody says. You have to put on fat at the same time. You can't jump that much weight up and be pure lean muscle.
Right. Yeah. Right.
It's impossible unless you're over here milking down the horse steroids like Bane off Batman. But
you had the Bane reference though. That's crazy.
If you ever seen Bane, you're like, this dude's on something.
This dude's on something.
Horse tranquilizers. I don't know what this dude's on, but
oh my God, man.
So I start prep the 27th, and the reason I do that is, for one, family time is the most important time, obviously. Christmas is coming around. You got all this. Lord knows if we're going to have certain family members around next year. I got time with my wife. I got time with my kid. I'm not going to be a stress ball and feel and guilt trip enjoying Christmas, eating, having good family time with the friends, because I get that very, very off. Like, I maybe get 2 or 3 or 4 of them times a year where I can really do that because I live this sport. So, I'm not gonna eat that. And then I look around next year and maybe my mom's gone or somebody's gone. I'm like, I could have had this meal with them,
Right.
So I start prep January 1st. I'll go into a deload phase, which deload, people not familiar in the industry, is you're kind of deprogressing into easier workals. You're kind of just maintaining. So I'll start a deload this week. So I'm not trying to gain any more weight right now. I'm just trying to maintain through Christmas and really give my body proper recovery before I head into prep, because prep is a whole new ballgame. You put your mind, body, marriage, friendships, everything at risk every time. And your significant other has to be able to understand where you're coming from. Because, like I said, getting down to 2% body fat, people see these ripped guys on TV, they're like 4 to 5% body fat.
Right.
You get down to 2%. To make people make light of this real quick, 2% body fat, you have no meat on the bottom of your feet. You can't even stand up straight in the shower. You're falling over because you have no balance. All the meat off the bottom of your feet are gone because, you're so lean. You're so lean. You go down to no carbs, you go down to this. And so people see me on stage and they're like, man, I want to look like that guy. Man, that guy's healthy. I'm 30 seconds away from having a stroke. Let me tell you, it's hard on your body and that's something we'll cover here at the end too, real quick. But yeah, man, so I'm starting prep on that. I'm a dark horse favorite. People say dark horse. I'm the favorite. Whatever. I hate when people undersell themselves. Have confidence, man.
Yeah.
I'm the dark horse because I'm the new guy. And my thing is this, man, we're all qualified the same, buddy. So as what I hear, I'm the favorite. I'm not the dark horse favorite. That means I cower to you and I'm supposed to be like, oh, if I win, that's okay. I'm not apologizing for my hard work.
Yeah.
So I'm the favorite.
There you go.
That's the way I look at it. And everybody should look at stuff like that, man. Nobody's better than you. I don't care. Like I said, I could get into that even more. We'll cover a lot of cool stuff one day too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's April 24th, man. That's my show. Hopefully I do good. Like I said, prep's going to be something else for me. So if you do come into SupHu and I'm a little grumpy, just know that.
That's why.
But I'll give you a discount. Well, yeah.
That's why.
But yeah. So that's a little short thing on that right there, man. So
Okay.
starting to prep. I'm hoping to qualify so I can try to get my pro card. I'm getting older, man. So people hear 30 and it's like, it's not old, but 30, 31, you start deteriorating a little bit,
Yeah.
So I got a window, I think, till 35 to be really dominant and good in the sport. So I want to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But I also want to show people that you can do stuff the right way. And I want to show people that you don't have to, obviously I have to take some type of supplements. And that's another thing. I'm straight laced about stuff. I do have to take certain stuff to compete in bodybuilding. And if people that compete in bodybuilding tell you guys that, they're liars.
Okay.
I'm here to expose the industry, man. But very minimal do I take. And I want to show people that you should get blood work done 2-3 times a year. You can take the minimal stuff and you can still achieve your goals. And you don't have to have 1 million followers and be sponsored by somebody and, drive some fancy Bentley or Lamborghini and be on every commercial. I'm going to show people that, dude, just put your mind to it and don't allow society to tell you that you're supposed to stay in a certain bubble. And I'm just going to show people that it can be done. That's it.
Yeah,
So
man.
That's my goal on that. There's nothing else and nothing more. To be honest with you, I'd like to go pro and retire on stage and say I'm done with this shit.
Yeah. I'm rooting for you, man. So on the cutting, obviously, I think there's going to be a handful of people that are looking to get down to 2%, right? But there are obviously some tactics there. Like I've had people come and talk to me about, like, in the past, of course, when I was weightlifting, like strictly weightlifting a little bit more, a couple of people that I know have asked, hey, have you ever tried to bodybuild and stuff like that? And, it dawned on me that with them having done that before, that they obviously have a knowledge when it comes to nutrition and how they need to move and do this and do that to start getting that body fat down. So even if you're not looking to get down to this 2%, 4 or 5% range, like what are some just healthy methods to get down there? Because you clearly have to have that information and that know-how to do that.
Well, the most healthy method is being prepared. So a lot of people get into it. I'm sure you have clients and, I coach for a little bit too. And my personality is just not to coach. You have to have a personality to coach. You got that personality. I don't. I wasn't given that because people will probably have me on Fox News or CNN. But I can tell you this. Everything starts with a purpose, just making your bed in the morning, right? So military people say, well, start with making your bed. Well, my thing is start with making your meals.
Yeah.
You have to have structure. Life is too chaotic with family, friends, and what's going on to not have structure. And if you want to get to that point, you have to start with the kitchen. It's 100% the kitchen, man. I don't care how many reps you do. I don't care how much you run. I don't care how much your coach tells you. It's nobody's fault. They can give you the guide, but you have to start within the kitchen.
Yeah.
For instance, I was talking to my mother the other night. I'm about to put my mom on blast, but she's like, well, I just don't have time in the mornings. But it's funny. I'll see people, they'll set their alarm for 5:45 or 6:45. They'll lay there for 15 minutes on TikTok or Instagram scrolling through.
Oh, okay.
That don't pay your bills. That's not doing anything positive for you.
Yeah.
What's that doing for you? Other than you're giving that person views and you're making them money. Thank you for giving to my life.
Yeah.
Right. So get up. Just get up. The hardest thing is your feet hitting the floor, man. That's it. As soon as your feet hit the floor, you're good.
Good.
But another thing too is like if you are that person who struggles with getting up in the morning, make your breakfast at night.
There you go.
Just make it at night, man. Hey, go ahead and cook that up real quick while you're already got a mess in the kitchen from dinner, or make your protein shake, blend it up real quick, sit it in the fridge. So maybe you do oversleep, but guess what? You walk straight to the fridge on your way out. Your breakfast is there. Bam. Now you didn't have to settle for McDonald's. You got the right thing in. And you start your day off right. It's here. And now the rest of the day, you want to eat healthy because you started off healthy. But if you go and grab 2 Egg McMuffins and a freaking sweet tea, you're probably going to go to Wendy's. You're going to go to Taco Bell on the way home. And that's a human nature thing. It's not that you're a bad person. That's human nature. Because you didn't give yourself a good goal to get up with. Yeah. So people that want to get back to that with the kitchen for sure. And if you obviously got away from that, it's 3 things: injury, work life, or laziness, right? So if it's an injury, that's great. Let's recover and let's get back at it. They're most likely back at it. That's my thing on it. Work life, you got to take a look in the mirror. Like, is my job killing me? Is it worth it? Is that one of these things? Like, we get it. Some people's got to do what you got to do, man. And I will never hate on anybody for that. Like, you got to do what you got to do. Most of the time, it's laziness. And people don't want to touch that surface. People, how dare you say I'm lazy? Well, I hate to tell you, little Miss Karen, but you're lazy. Okay. So they need people like you. They need a coach. They need somebody who's going to give them structure. You don't have to pay for a nutrition plan. You don't have to pay for a workout plan. But you need structure. You need somebody to push you. You need somebody to, you got a plan. And my biggest thing is, if you're trying to get back to that, if you're investing in it, it's a lot harder to get off track. Yeah. If you don't have nothing invested in it, you might do good for 2 weeks. You might get good for 3 weeks. You're going to go back. I don't care what anybody says. You're going to go back. You're going to falter off. Yeah. But if I Venmo you $180 for the month or whatever it is, I'm invested now.
Right.
I'm invested. So now I have structure. I have a coach who's going to hold me accountable with check-ins, who's going to hold me accountable at the gym. I've paid him $180. Now I'm invested and I got to perform. Because now I've paid something that that $180 could have went somewhere else. I got to show up. Yeah. So I think it's very important. I think coaching's overlooked. It's like a pride thing. I don't get it with people. I'm like, dude, I have a coach.
Right. Yeah.
I'm about to go pro in bodybuilding. I have a coach.
Yeah.
I'll continue to have a coach because a coach keeps you in check. Do the math. You got $40 a week because you eat out. Times about 4, that's $180. Eat healthy, get a coach. I mean, it's simple, man. It's so simple, man. And it's crazy the stuff people spend money on that does no benefit for them, or they'll spend $40 or they'll spend $280 on Kanye Yeezys.
Right.
But they won't spend $100 on their body. Yeah. Kanye don't care about you, dude. Okay. Are you serious? He's got kids in China making them shoes for $1. He just made $279 off you. You think he cares about you? That's true though. It's true. You know, that's a society we live in now. But it's crazy. Like, people will come in here, they'll see me in the shop. Dude, you can tell, like, some of them, I'm not sure if they'll be alive in a year, and it's sad. Yeah. And I invest. I'll try to get them stuff for free just because I don't want to see you die.
Yeah. And
they'll look at a price of something. I'm like, oh, that's $39.99. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's your first time here too. I was like, how about this? I was like, I'll give you a shaker. I'll give it to you for cost, like $15. And like, oh yeah. But then I see them walk out, and I'm like, wow, well, they had on $180 pair of Air Jordans. They had on a Columbia jacket, and keep on making them people richer, man, and not building your brand, and keep on wearing their stuff while you're because guess what, buddy? All that stuff doesn't go with you anyways when you go. So that's right. You know, it's a fine line. It's priorities, man. It's priorities. You know, and let me say this too. The stuff you see on TV, these Instagram and these guys are 3% body fat, just know that that's in their best moment. Know that that's they're in their best shape like that for 2 or 3 years out of the month, and they're doing every photo shoot they can in winter clothes, summer clothes, home clothes, and they post it sporadically throughout the year. And just know the other 8 months out of the year, they're a normal human, and they're not holding all that. They got body fat and they look normal. Just know that. We will talk about the industry on another podcast if you want to, because I will enlighten human nature.
Yeah. I'm sure
I think it's such a bad thing for people to see, man. People think I can never maintain that. And because it's not maintainable.
It's not maintainable.
Trust me, if I could look like I look like on stage all year round, I would do it.
Right.
But it's impossible.
It's
impossible. That's why when you see all these guys at 18, they got really good genetics, and you're like, you better enjoy it while you're young.
Yeah.
Because it's not maintainable.
Yeah.
And then you see little Billy from 8th grade who used to be ripped, and now, he's slapping whoppers. It's like, what happened to them genetics? Oh, you got older.
That's right.
30's 30, man. It doesn't matter. You can't maintain it. So
yeah. That's awesome. Hey, I got to tell you, just delivering that truth and that information to people, I think it's going to hold a ton of value. Whoever's listening, this is a lot of good information. I don't think we would have gotten this sort of honesty and this sort of transparency from, again, someone who was looking to, or a company who was looking to just like get you to come to their place and get supplements. You know what I'm saying? But like you've definitely delivered the information that we need. And because of that, people are going to say, that's who I want to go get it from. That's awesome. Shit, I'm going to be in there soon, because I'm definitely like, I've been like trying to what's funny is that I've been trying to reevaluate the need for caffeine,
I do know caffeine. Well, I'm lying. Not interrupting you. Continue real quick and I'll tell you.
Well, I was just going to say that for like a long time, like I could feel myself like being like relying on it. And if I stopped, I would have these crazy withdrawals. I mean, like headaches for like days, until finally just kind of like relaxed a little bit. And then I would be like, I'm tired of dealing with this. I'm going to go ahead and get it again. And I think a lot of people might be afraid of that kind of stuff. But now to know that there are some viable, very good, like alternatives that you can go to, it's just like, yo, why not? You know what I mean? So, but go ahead. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I'll say this, man. Like, I just had probably 75 milligrams of natural green tea caffeine. That's what I'm drinking right here. If you guys have seen me drinking that with lemon. So, but I don't do pre-workout, man. I market it. It is a marketable product. Like sometimes I do market it. But it serves no purpose to me. Yeah. And if people come in there wanting it, they ask me, well, what do you take? I'm like, well, I don't take caffeine. Well, you don't take caffeine. And then I'm like, some people look at me like, well, dude, you might just lost like $100 in sales. I read my lips. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care, because I don't want to lie to anybody. Caffeine is the biggest lie ever known to humankind.
Okay.
It is it does all these things to you. For one, there's a video on YouTube. You can go and look at it. They gave 3 lab rats the exact same thing for 3 months. They gave it sugar cubes, they gave it caffeine, like a caffeine grind, and they gave it heroin.
Oh God!
For 3 months.
I'm invested.
Just to show you this.
Yeah.
They pulled the rats off that. They put all 3 in front of them. All 3 of the rats went to the caffeine first, then the sugar, and didn't touch the heroin.
Okay.
If that puts it in perspective to you, how addicting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Now, here's my other thing about caffeine. It leads to all these crazy things: anxiety, depression.
Yeah.
Now you think that you're a person with anxiety because the caffeine has you thinking it. Now you go see a doctor because you got anxiety. So I got to prescribe you something for this. But the doctor don't ever stop to ask you, how many cups of coffee you drink a day? How much are you taking pre-workout? Depression, you're not getting sleep. So now you feel depressed. Dude, it's I'm telling you, man, it's a overlooked thing. I hate people walk in the gym drinking a Bang or a Red Bull. I'm like, what are you doing? You got that from the marathon and you think it's going to help you?
Right. Yeah.
So you just pay $4.99 for acid that's going to tear up your stomach and give you heartburn.
They're pretty expensive.
But I'm not hating on the people that don't know that, or the people drinking it. They don't know it. And people aren't brave enough to tell them that.
Right.
Because it's a money industry.
Yeah.
And I rub a lot of people wrong in Louisville, man. I'll tell you right now, Next Level don't like me. Total Nutrition don't like me. SupZilla don't like me. A lot of bodybuilders don't like me. There's tons of coaches that don't like me. And they'll probably try to have me murdered one day.
Lord have mercy.
But the industry is a big field, man. The fitness industry is a marketing field, and they do not like people who are honest about it.
Right.
And the honesty is, I mean, you think about it. Why is every label in a supplement store bright and flashy? Now, I'm going to tell you one more thing. Walk into a casino. What do you see in a casino everywhere?
Oh,
you see slot machines, but what do they look like?
They're bright.
What do they look like?
They're shiny. They're making noise. All of the above.
All the above. Intense pump. Crazy stem. All that. Your eye appeals to it, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, well, it's got to work. Or so-and-so so-and-so, the pro figure girl, she takes these little fat burners here, and that's why she looks like that. No, she looks like that because she's on about 4 horse steroids and eats absolutely nothing. That's why she looks like that. Not because of fat burner, but she's getting paid $10,000 a month to market that fat burner to give to you. Right.
Yeah.
So granted, there's a time and place for all these things, but there is a cycle on and cycle off. You need to be on this stuff. You need to be off this stuff. You can't just take the stuff year round. You need to know what it does too. And if there's somebody who can be depressed, or there's somebody who struggles with anxiety, and you walk in telling people that stuff and they still sell you pre-workout, they should be fired.
Yeah.
But that's another reason we're getting with a good coach like you comes into play, because they get with you, you learn about them, and then you tell them like, okay, you need to stay away from this. You need to be on this. Right. And there's tons of people that can handle caffeine, like kudos, but there's 99.978 3.14 pi square that can't handle it.
Yeah.
So my thing is know that, stuff that can affect you. Know if you have an addictive personality. If you're an addictive personality person, supplements can be dangerous.
Yeah.
It can be dangerous. Because it's easy to tell your coach like, oh yeah, I quit taking that. And you're still taking it because you're afraid if you come off of it, you're not going to look so good anymore.
Okay.
So
when in reality, they may look better.
In reality, if you would have never just did it naturally, you would have learned like, oh my gosh, now let me tinker with this fat burner a little bit. Now that I look at it, now I'm going to really look like something.
Yeah.
But they want to skip all the process, man. They don't want to put in the hard work. They don't want to come to you and do that stuff. They want to come in, take a magic fat pill, and think everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Take the right way, take the hard way, not the easy way. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, Kalem. Well, I got to tell you, man, just based on, everything that we've talked about here, I know you've mentioned some of the other stores, but in all honesty, man,
great stores. I'm not repping. I'm not bashing them.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna say, in all honesty, like the one store that's always on the forefront of my mind is SupHu. So, all those other stores, they may be franchises doing what they're doing, but whatever SupHu is doing, you're killing it over there. Okay.
I appreciate it, man.
Man. So I want to kind of just get you to like give everybody like some closing information, advice, you know what I mean? And just kind of tell them where they can find you and what you got going on.
All right. So we're located off of 9407 Westport Road. We're right there beside the Jefferson County Clerk's office. Swag Shoes, the LAC, Westport Road Athletic Club. We're right there. You can't miss. We got a brand new sign up. We post about it all the time. Suite 123. That's us right there. Really, man, like if it's your first time in there, you always get something for free. So if you buy something, you get something for free if you're a first time person. And then Austin, obviously, if you come through with him, man, you're always getting 20% off. So if you're referred by you or whatever, your guys, or you've seen this podcast or you're with him, it's 20% off for you guys every time. So come in, drop the name, 20% off right there. We have a lot of crazy new good stuff coming on as well, too. Always looking for ambassadors. I know you see our ambassadors post all the time. I don't know if you.
Oh, yeah, man.
But our ambassadors are everyday relatable people. We do have some crazy good athletes. I will say that we do have some good athletes.
Yeah.
But our ambassadors I'm looking for just normal people, man. Just people that are relatable, have kids, you got a normal life, maybe get to the gym 2-3 times a week. Just to help show that, you can be involved in the fitness industry, that you don't have to be the next great, whatever it is that they're perceiving it to be. So I don't care what size, shape, color, or anything you are. It's all about just showing everybody that, hey, man, it's okay. It's all good over here. No judgment whatsoever. So, because to each is their own, man. Not everybody wants to look like me or you. Some people, I just want to feel good. They don't want, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And which is important. I'd rather you feel good than look like me anyways, because I feel like crap half the
time. I was going to say, based on what you told us earlier, I'm still in that days where you're not feeling, man.
Yeah. No, I pretty much feel it, one day out of the year. And that's, it's, I'm at the beach. So having a margarita.
Yeah. Now where can they find you on the social media?
At SupHu Louisville.
Okay.
At SupHu Louisville. Also on Facebook too. We're directly linked together as well too. So I'm always running the page. Message me if you got any questions. I try to answer as quick as I can. But just message. You got any questions beforehand? Ask if we got anything in stock, or say, hey, that you sent them. I'm coming up there. Is there anything he told me? So as well too, I will say this just so they know, I do not step on coach's feet. So if he sends you up here to me and he's got you with a plan, don't ask me what I think, because I don't step on coach's feet. So I'll be like, oh, this is what he wants to keep you in. This is what we're going to keep you in. And then whatever you buy outside of that, that's on you. You can answer to him.
Yeah. I love it, man. Very good. Yeah, man. Well, you all, like you said, if you have any questions, definitely reach out to Kalem. Facebook, Instagram. If you're one of those people that's not too much of an extrovert and you have an issue reaching out to a new person, reach out to me. I'll get you in touch with Kalem. Okay. And as far as Fitness to Fit You, I'm always going to push you in the direction of Fitness to Fit You myself for your coaching services, whether that be online or in person. And just to kind of give you some update here on the Women's Wellness Retreat. April 24th, April 25th, which happens to be on the same date as your Kentucky Muscle, which is disappointing, but it'll be a good weekend for all parties. That's a good thing.
We'll bring the trophy home either way.
Yeah. That description for registration will be, that link for registration will be in the description. Typically, or with that retreat, really trying to push for, just women who need a weekend, women who need time to figure out how they can kind of navigate through all of the daily pressures, whether you're a wife, a parent, a full-time employee, a business owner, and you're trying to juggle all of that. You know what I mean? Those same people that Kalem says he wants to come into the store. You know what I mean? So those
by the way, on that, if you tag us, if like your people tag us, I will share their stories and their posts to our page. I want people to see that normal people are working. So just tag SupHu. We'll share you. We got 16,000 followers. I will blast you all over social media.
Hey, that's what's up.
And but like I said on that as well. And one more thing I'll put in, you guys need to keep him as a coach. I very, very seldomly give coaches good feedbacks because just so many people can do it nowadays.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff that you teach these guys, and it's so important, from the stretching aspects just to I watched your video the other day when you got your daughter's food ready before your food, but you still made it work.
Yeah.
You're showing that it's there's plenty of single dads out there that can go through the same thing. So, but all your stretches you do, all the warm-ups you do, all the messages you do, I can tell you this, you're not going to find a coach that does that a lot. And I've seen a lot of coaches who maybe charge $250 to $400 a month, and they give you one sentence a week, and they're sharing none of your stuff. And you're just a number to them. You're just a number to them at that point. So like I said, don't take that for granted. And as well too is, I see you push them, and I'll end on this note. Sometimes you just got to suck it up.
That's right.
You just got to suck it up, man. The bigger picture, nothing in life comes easy.
Yeah.
Nothing like, if it was easy, everybody would be in shape. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So
that's right. I hope y'all are hearing that, active clients. So y'all are hearing that.
They're probably like,
yeah,
throw him,
cursing you, right?
But
oh man.
yeah, man.
All right, Caleb. Well, it was great having Caleb on. Whatever time you're listening to this, in the morning, in the evening, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your night. Okay. Peace out.
All right. See you, man.